Christie, pleasure. Going to pull up a seat. Oh, sure. You can put it right here. Nah, it'll be good. No, you're fine. You're fine. Let me do one thing. Do that. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 5 here on the Radio Row. Darren Smith with you here. We're live from the Moscone Convention Center here in San Francisco, California. And with me, I have a very special guest. And I know you are trying to figure out what are we looking at. Trying to make sure that we can, of course, see this young lady. So I'm gonna move this just a little bit. This is worth a lot of money, so I'm not trying to mess anything up because I don't have the money, the capital to pay for it. But with me, I'm joined by Miss Nathalie Ferneau. Is that correct? All right, and so we are here, and she's here on behalf of Christie's iconic department. And we're looking at the Jim Irsay collection and the biggest collection that they have currently. If you are familiar with horse racing, this is the very saddle. I'm gonna actually pay attention, but I got you. The very saddle for Secretariat, the first Triple Crown winner. And you can put a mic up just a little bit. All right. And so tell us a little bit about this and what brought you all to Radio Row this week.
Thanks so much for having me. Yeah,
oh, no, thank you.
This is Secretariat's Triple Crown saddle. So this was made for jockey Ron Turcotte in 72. He used it with another horse first. And then in 73, he used it with Secretariat for all of his stakes races, including this Triple Crown. So Kentucky Derby, Preakness and
the Belmont. Yeah.
And of course, the Belmont is, in my mind, one of the most iconic sports moments of all time.
Why is that?
Well, so he laid down just this incredibly decisive victory.
He really did.
No one has ever.
He really
I mean, like no horse has ever really come close to beating that time, but also just having that margin of victory. No horse really in the photos. You can't even see who's coming in second.
Yeah.
Shams in the background. But I think that's a great example of what else is in this collection. So I'm here at Radio Row representing the Jim Irsay collection, which we're selling at Christie's, and it's this great collection of sort of artifacts of iconic moments from the 20th century. So we have a lot of great sports pieces, including the saddle, of course, but also these really great pieces of music memorabilia. So we have Kurt Cobain's guitar from Smells Like Teen Spirit music video. Jerry Garcia's Tiger. We have Jack Kerouac's scroll that he wrote On the Road.
John Lennon.
Lots of Beatles stuff. So we have some John Lennon guitars. We have Ringo's drum set. We have the drum head from the Ed Sullivan Show. So it's really an embarrassment of riches here.
And so if you like the Beatles, they actually have the handwritten list for Hey Jude by Paul McCartney. Mm-hmm. So now, so I guess the first question would be, how do you all get a hold? I mean, so are people donating stuff? Or did Jim Irsay, who of course was a former was former owner of the Indianapolis Colts before his death last year. Did he just purchase all the stuff throughout time and then?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Jim Irsay was a really passionate collector. He put this immense collection together over a series of years. He was buying at auction. He was buying directly from artists. He was buying directly from athletes. He was very public about his collection. So once he began collecting, people started to know that, he was building this collection. So athletes knew to go to him, musicians knew to go to him. But no, he worked really, really hard to put together this truly exceptional, one-of-a-kind collection.
So I'm curious, where did he keep all this? Because I think when I think back, like when Michael Jackson had all of his stuff, mm-hmm. his stuff, and I believe it was, which artist was it? Not Christina Aguilera. It was one of these artists that what is her name? She won an Oscar for. Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, one of the music artists, kept the stuff because I think the stuff that he had to be at a certain temperature, so so the stuff like that wouldn't evaporate or do something over time. So, where did he keep all of his collections too?
Yeah, good question. So he lived with some of his things. He had some stuff in, like you said, very carefully climate controlled storage because especially acoustic guitars in particular. You have to make sure that you're not changing the temperature, changing the humidity too much, because they are, they're made out of wood and you have to take good care of them. But he also did something really special, which was he tried to display his collection and, bring it out to people. He actually, some of it he would put on display in the Indianapolis airport. So I think a lot of people can remember seeing some of these pieces there. But he really publicized it, and that's something that has been really fun being here at the Super Bowl. We have a bunch of the pieces here as well, so we're trying to keep that alive, making sure people can see it here.
And it's
too.
interesting because over the years, they brought some of the jerseys and stuff by my table and stuff, and this first time I think I've gotten a hold of this or whatever, a lot of the stuff that he has in there, and just looking at some of the stuff. You talk about the instruments. Miles Davis's Martin Committee trumpet that you all have now. Again, and now are you all putting these up for auction for people to go out and purchase, or is it just some tour type stuff?
Yes. So this will be there. They will be available for purchase at auction at Christie's, New York, but you can also participate online in mid-March. So March 12th, 13th, and 14th. But before that, we're going to have a big exhibition. It's all going to be open to the public, so you can come see it. And also, you can look at it online. But starting March 6th, you can come in person to Christie's in New York and see it all.
There's a Jim Irsay collection going to donate Jackie Robinson's game used 1953
that's here at the Super Bowl.
Wow, I'm just saying, but but the Negro Leagues in Kansas City could utilize that too. I'm just saying. But looking at this, you got, and of course, it's interesting because obviously, especially music artists, they use so many instruments throughout their career and stuff. I'm looking at here, you got Prince's Adam Beach custom yellow cloud guitar, but of course, I don't even know where his guitar is from the Super Bowl. But the purple one that he did at the Super Bowl in Miami, I believe it was. Elton John's grand piano and Bob Dylan's handwritten lyrics to The Times They Are Changing, and this is the most interesting I like right here. Sylvester Stallone's handwritten script. Now, the crazy thing is, I saw something with Sylvester Stallone on. It might have been on X. It could have been on YouTube, but I thought he still had his script. For where he wrote Rocky. Is that?
I'm not sure. I know that. So this one, it has all of his handwritten notes. Which I did not realize that it's not just typed up.
No, he write. No,
it's handwritten.
No,
yeah.
And
very impressive.
And I think even for like Tulsa King, something he still writes, because that's what it was. He was showing like in his house where he sits. He just sits and writes stuff. He doesn't use the typewriter. And I forgot why he said he did that, but that's it's just, oh God, you have some beautiful stuff. The Godfather production script, Al Pacino script. Several Babe Ruth's autographs. So for you, out of all the stuff that you tour and auction and stuff, what is the most fascinating piece that you like? You just look at and like, yeah, I like that. If ever they asked me pick one, I would choose that.
So it changes almost every day.
Okay.
But right now I'm so partial to the saddle. I grew up with horses. I grew up like going to the racetrack. So to have something like this, that's really special to me. But something else that I'm currently like crushing on, loving on is we have Ringo Starr's pinky ring. And if you look at like old video footage, it is in almost every shot of him, especially in the early days. So it's on the Ed Sullivan Show. It's it went everywhere with him. So
now, what kind of ring was it? I'm sorry, so I'm not familiar with it.
Picture? I don't think we do. It is. It's not subtle. It is a big gold and sapphire pinky ring. It is. Yeah, you can. It's very recognizable. Carats? And I just think what is more recognizably like Ringo than a ring, So
Facts.
I think if you have to have. I don't know. I'm not a very good musician myself, so I'm not sure that it makes sense for me to have a guitar, have drums, but I can have a ring. So
no, that's 9 carats. Wow, and of course back in that day in '64, 9 carats. Just I can see why. Of course, you don't Ed Sullivan or anybody else scratching his face. Yeah, I can understand that. Let's see here. So Nathalie Ferneau, again, specialist in Christie's iconic department. Now, how long are you all here till this week?
We're here until the Super Bowl. Yep.
So, okay, and so do you all plan on, I guess, getting anything from, I guess, from the game, depending on how the game turns out? Or are you all?
No, the collection's pretty much set for what's going to be going up, and everything will be listed on the website starting next week. So you can check out everything. It's going to be almost 400 items.
And this, of course, is estimated to go between 1.5 and 3 million.
Yep, that's what we're saying. But it's an auction, so who knows what will happen?
Well, it ain't going for $200. That much I do know.
Exactly.
Nathalie, thank you so very much for your time. Really appreciate it, and thank you for the education stuff. So, man, and the other thing that's interesting about this saddle is you really see how small the person is, because this right here for people looking at it now. So this is where a jockey puts his feet.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah. So
you
can
have
see
a kid riding this thing.
I know, it's tiny, and also, I mean, so not only are
the Secretary was huge.
So the saddles are really small to be as light as possible, but also they're standing up for most of the race. So that's why the stirrups are so short. But no, that's what everyone says. It's tinier than you would expect for a horse like Secretary.
And so about that horse, I'm not sure you may. But how much bigger was the horse than all the other horses? And
I mean, he was huge.
Because I know they had a drug test the horse.
Yeah, but the thing that was perhaps the most unique about him physically is, so after Secretary passed away, they did do an autopsy, and they discovered his heart was significantly larger than the average horse's. So that was really where you saw the size discrepancy. Like, he was truly like a freak of nature. He was unique. He was special.
One of a kind. Thank you so very much for joining us. We'll be back in a little bit with Stephen Espinoza, the former Showtime Sports president. We'll talk all things boxing in just a little bit. We'll be back after this timeout.